Yo, what's good? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. Yes, indeed, it is another one. So listen, look here. I got this one off the channel called Political ABCs. I think it's ran by Melanie King. And she posted these factors right here. Now it seems that I scammed just a tiny second here. It seems like, of course, everybody's talking about what happened on stage. Everybody knows that Joe is not there like that. And now that the public really knows, they're scrambling, trying to figure out this and that. They want to try to get him out of there as quick as possible. But it's like, okay, who they're gonna try to, replace with. Now we already know, at this point right here, who would they actually run with? Let's just keep this real out here. So it's about to get very sticky. This election is about to get very sticky out here, and I suggest everybody put their damn raincoats on because it's gonna be a damn storm coming out here soon. All right, so let's go here now. Let's put these quarters, nickels, and dimes in on the times.
It's 3 Eastern. We're going to start on time. President Biden, as we talk here live, is about to speak in Wisconsin. And obviously great interest in that and in his interview with George Stephanopoulos. What I'm reporting now is, despite the widespread view that I had and others, that President Biden was never going to leave the race, and that at a minimum, he had bought himself time through this interview. What I'm now reporting is that senior people on his campaign and senior people on Capitol Hill no longer believe it's tenable for the president to continue. Their belief is based on a variety of things, which I'm going to tick through. But it's quite a change from my view and my sources' view from 48 hours ago, when many people thought that I trusted that he would be able to power through this. The reasons, as I say, for the change vary from person to person. But whether it's a senior person in the Biden world, either a campaign staffer or a friend of President Biden's, or it's a senior leader on Capitol Hill, the universe of things they're keying off of is pretty similar. And again, I'm going to run through them and not attribute them to any particular individual, but just know that it applies to many people who are supportive of Joe Biden personally, who think what's happening is tragic, who aren't crazy about the alternatives to Joe Biden being the nominee. But again, what unites them is the belief that it's untenable that he goes forward. They all believe he's not there yet. They all believe it's going to take some time for him to get there. We'll talk about that. But let me run through the reasons. First of all,
hold on, for him to get where though? I mean, he's already the president. He couldn't hold up in the damn debate. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, man, listen, look, you can't hold on to stale fruit. You got to throw it away. I mean, that's just, Jesus Christ.
The bad press over the last few days could have been worse had his campaign team not done a lot of handholding. But the bad press generated by the president himself has really freaked out these people. And they don't think it's going to end. Remember, the premise of this campaign was whichever candidate was in the news more was going to lose between Trump and Biden. And these people, my sources say, when's Joe Biden going to get out of the news? This goes on forever. And Donald Trump could probably shoot 50 people on Fifth Avenue and it wouldn't be the lead story. Number two, there are going to be a lot more stories about the president's mental health. You've already seen now some revisionism from my colleagues saying, well, this has been happening for months and months, and we knew all along. People are very worried about those stories and about the secondary story about who knew what when and about the cover-up of it, because there was a cover-up. So these people say that will never end, and that will drive a lot of the coverage, as will President Biden, who drove coverage in the last few days, saying he was telling the governors he'd go to sleep at 8 o'clock, stop doing events after 8 o'clock, rest more. The Biden operation has gone from one that was pretty efficient, didn't leak, didn't backbite, to a totally different realm amongst the campaign staff, but also amongst the governors. The leaks out of that governor's meeting, not the kind of thing you've normally seen in the Biden era.
Damn, so they already turning on him. They already taking information spreading it wide.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Wow, wow. Hey, you know what? When them snakes get the slithering out here, hey, it don't take much for people to turn on you, especially with all that type of power in play.
And that people believe that that would never end as well. And that the president, one of the things he has to do, it was thought that he had to do, was to reach out to people. But the problem is he then reaches out and it all leaks out and puts him in an unflattering light. They don't see him making urgent changes. They see the culture of the campaign changing in negative ways. He's cutting out his advisors. Some of his senior people, some of his best friends who have been his political colleagues for years are not being consulted. I'm told that Hunter was basically the one preparing him for the ABC interview, not his communications or political staff. That has, of course, caused a lot of tension within his team. And of course, uncharacteristic for Joe Biden, he's big on privately blaming the staff when things go wrong, but the public blaming of the staff for the debate prep has also shattered the culture of the campaign. They want to see him do more, and they think what he's already failed, going to Delaware after he goes to Wisconsin to hang out in Delaware for a day and a half. They don't like that. Announcing that they're going to be events in the battleground states rather than doing them beyond the two he's got scheduled, or at least putting specifics on them. Very much troubling to people. They'd like to see him shake up the campaign, bring in Rahm Emanuel from Japan, bring in Michael Hooley, bring in David Plouffe, do something. None of that. They look at how he's dealing with this crisis as passive, and they look at it as indicative of his inability to do more. And that reinforces their belief that, in fact, he's had a severe cognitive decline. The radio interview and the event he did yesterday.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And the thing of this is about him not consulting with long-term friends and advisors and stuff like that clearly comes to show that he's not all the way there. Because if he was, he would still be consulting with these people. He's known these people for decades now. He's trusted these people. Why aren't you not reaching out to people that you trust to help clean up this mess? Because this is a huge mess. It's huge. This is a serious problem. This is the time he needs the closest of the closest next to him in order to, straighten things out. But, all right.
He did 2 local radio interviews and the 4th of July event. Those did not reassure people. They weren't a disaster, but again, they did not see in those the indications that he's fighting hard enough or that he's got the capacity to focus to undo the damage done by the debates. The governors were supportive to an extent with their public statements, but as we talked about, they leaked. And a lot of the governors left the meeting unsettled. Fundraising. You've all seen the stories about major donors and Hollywood donors and business donors saying, we're not giving to this campaign anymore until Biden, we're not going to give anything until Biden quits. The small dollar donations, I'm told, were also going dry after doing very well immediately after the debate. But again, they believe the president will find it untenable to go forward without small dollars or large dollars. The most important factor in the belief of the people on the Hill and at the White House is the Congress. Chuck Schumer, I'm told, has believed for quite some time that this is untenable and has started to make that clear to people. Hakeem Jeffries has done what everyone described to me, including people on Schumer's team, as a masterful job of keeping House Republicans en masse from coming forward. But given the unhappiness that exists on the text change and other communication that members have been doing, they believe that when Congress gets back next week, that again, it will be untenable for the president to continue in the face of a lot of questions that will extend beyond he shouldn't be the nominee to, again, how did this happen? Schumer and Jeffries don't believe they can hold the flood back. And they believe, and the strategists believe, for the House and Senate on the Democratic side, I'm told, that while Kamala Harris, who we'll get to in a moment, is not a perfect candidate and that there's a lot of questions about her, but they believe she'll at least bring some energy to this, a turn of the page. She's not going to put any red states in play. She'll gain some votes that Joe Biden wasn't getting. She'll lose some white men and other groups that he was getting. But they believe that if she does a good job, a decent job, that if she picks a good running mate, and if she runs a good race, a lot of ifs, that she could do better than Joe Biden and that she won't hurt them as much. That the negatives that she brings will not hurt their Senate and House candidates as much. And as you all know, that's what they're more concerned about. They don't think Joe Biden is going to win the White House. Most of them didn't think he was before.
So wow, yeah. So they want to go ahead on and toss Kamala in there. Listen, look, and see the thing of this is right here. If you pay attention to what he just said, okay, um, they don't even have the faith in Kamala like that. They don't even have faith in Kamala. Kamala. Sorry, whatever. But yeah, though, man. Okay, wow. Hey, I told y'all put your raincoat on around here, man. It's about to storm out here in this motherfucker. It's about to storm. This is crazy. So they don't have that one candidate that they can have true faith in at this point right now. This is wild.
They want to do everything they can to try to win as much of the House and Senate races as they can, and maybe even win a majority back in the House, maybe hold the Senate under some circumstances. They would prefer, I'm told, her dysfunction to his, because they think hers has at least some upside and they don't see any for him. Timing, I have no idea, and my sources don't either. They all emphasize that Joe Biden is going to need time to figure this out for himself. None of them are inclined to pressure him publicly. They'd like to see this happen organically. They'll go there if they need to, I believe, based on the body language. No one threatened that to me. But they think it will happen. Is that 2 weeks, a week, 5 days? I don't know. Will Kamala Harris be the designated nominee? I believe she will, for three main reasons. Number one, it'll be very difficult in this party to bypass her, and she wants it, so she wouldn't step aside. Number two, no one has emerged really as a consensus obvious other choice. And I'm told that most of them are not interested in trying to raise money, build a campaign, and withstand the assault of Donald Trump. So I'm not sure if Harris stepped aside that you'd have as many takers as people think. But the notion of challenging her for it, I'm told, given that most of them aren't interested in it, I think she'll largely be unopposed. And finally, it's just the easiest thing. She gets the money. Most campaign finance lawyers think she can keep the money. Other people wouldn't be able to keep the money. A lot of the Biden people who don't particularly have a good relationship with her are thinking seriously about if she asked them to stay on, would they? So she probably will inherit at least some staff. Who would her running mate be?
So, okay, she don't even get along with the staff that she's working with around here, man. This is wild. Look at all this shit coming out right now. I mean, not everybody just knew that she wasn't getting along with them people on the Biden staff like that. Come on, man. Okay, man, they messed up there. They are messed up bad.
I've heard a lot of people with a lot of speculation. There's some people who think Shapiro is the obvious choice. There are other people who think Shapiro would be a disaster, that a black woman and a Jew are a little bridge too far. The best thing I've heard, and again, I've known nothing from her team because they're not playing on these questions about who she'd actually consider or pick. But the best thing I've heard so far, to my sensibility, is Governor Whitmer. Just say two women on the ticket and just see if Donald Trump can withstand running against two women. Lastly, everybody asks, will he continue as president? It is the conventional wisdom amongst Republicans and the media that it's impossible for him to stay on as president. I'd strongly assume he's going to stay on for a couple reasons. One is it'd be way too abrupt for him to leave, and he thinks he can do the job just fine. In addition, the notion that Kamala Harris, whose greatest weakness, if she embarks on this, is her ability to manage people and get along with people who work with her and for her. The notion that she could be president, commander in chief, and presidential candidate against Donald Trump is far-fetched to me. It seems setting her up for failure. So my expectation is if he does decide to withdraw as the nominee, he will stay on as president. But I could be wrong, because I was definitely wrong about whether he'd step down. And again, he hasn't decided to. But based on what his senior team, members of his senior team think, and based on what I'm hearing from Capitol Hill, the expectation is widely held that he will, before too much longer, reach that conclusion, regardless of how he does at this event in Wisconsin that's about to begin, regardless of how he does in the Stephanopoulos interview. There are some great people on this call who I'd like to hear from, and I may call on, but I want to start by just taking questions, which I may kick to others.
Okay, so the questions part, listen, look, all right. You know, I got one a little bit I was trying to get hold to as far as the information wise and stuff like that. So y'all can really see what's going on here. The Democratic Party don't even trust Kamala Harris like that. Kamala, however you pronounce her name. They're scrambling now. They really don't know which way to go. They want Joe to sit down, but they want him to do it gracefully. They don't want to have to make a scene for him to do so, due to the, of course, all the years that he's been in, politics and things like that. They trying to give him a little grace leeway. I get it, professional courtesy. But yeah, though, man. Wow, they really screwed. They messed up in the Democrat, man. They messed up right now. Very bad, man. This is a very scary thing. This is haven't had anything like this ever pop off in either party like this. Yeah, man. You got to get your raincoats out there, man. This is going crazy. Yeah, if you want to continue watching it more, it's almost an hour. So yeah, if you want to continue watching more, I will put the link to the channel that it's on, of course, down below. But yeah, though, man, this is bad out here. This is bad, bad, bad. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whew, man, we got a serious road ahead of us, man, that we need to really consider here, as far as our country's going, because it ain't no telling which way it's gonna be going right now with the way that this thing's looking. But it is what it is, though, man. Hey, shout out to all my subscribers out there. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure that you ring that bell, that you'll be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line. Mad love to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Please comment. My link to my X, TikTok, and my email are down below. And I always show the Bottom Line News some love. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.
Who responsible for all these holes in the street? You?
God,